Ari Wasserman from cleveland.com, alongside my good friend Michael Casagrande from al.com, wrapping up the biggest day, the biggest media day, called Media Day, of the year, this morning in the Superdome. What did you learn most about Alabama? What did you take away from everything that you had in terms of the hour of availability?
Yeah, no, it's the hour of availability we look forward to all year. It's the biggest 60 minutes of Alabama football. From our perspective, I think I talked to a lot of guys who we don't talk to all year. I mean, it's not as interesting to talk about on this video, but got some of the guys, the quarterbacks who you don't hear from, the guys who potentially could be transferring, some of the NFL guys who could be going. But you get to see some personality today. You see guys who are speaking more freely. It's more interesting to talk to them when we're not in a sterile environment where you got school officials staring over your shoulder and scaring the kids what to say. So I think it was a good experience for everybody. I think the readers at al.com will be well served in the next month or two. So stay tuned.
It's interesting because it's the same exact thing for us. Mm-hmm. We get a limited amount of access to people, and today there was an entire room full of people we don't get to talk to, and I thought it was very interesting because I thought Alabama's players and Ohio State's players reacted to the availability a lot of the same way. Mm-hmm. As far as being overseen by Nick Saban and Urban Meyer in the corner, and then everybody was over to the side. For Ohio State, I was very surprised that Braxton Miller did not come out. Well, maybe very surprised is not the right way to put it, but we were looking forward to maybe talking to Braxton for the first time in a long time to see what his plans are or what he thinks in his head they are right now. Maybe talk to JT to see how he's doing with his recovery, and neither of the quarterbacks were there. But just like you, we spoke to a lot of players that, of course, through cleveland.com and al.com, as time goes on, even after the game, we'll have coverage from players you haven't heard from much. But as far as maybe one more day closer to the game, did you learn anything new, any new perspective that maybe you can offer in terms of just, what Alabama is feeling at this point?
I think it was interesting. I was talking to some of the other friends, some of the reporters, who would say that the Ohio State guys seemed pretty loose. They were maybe even more relaxed than Alabama. That's not too uncommon for an opponent with Alabama, usually more business-like, but they seem to be really cutting up, having a good time, the Ohio State guys, and it was kind of refreshing to see. The Alabama guys weren't completely all business, but just seeing them in that more relaxed state. What do I learn about the game? Who's going to win the game? I don't know if my thoughts have changed too much from this morning to this afternoon.
What's interesting for me is that I agree with you completely. I think Ohio State's players are very loose. They were playful. They were joking around about video games, laughing. Players that are usually business-like were joking around and enjoying themselves. And I kind of get the sense, and I don't know if you agree with this, that a lot of people didn't expect Ohio State to be here to begin with. They're heavy underdogs, and even though they have everything to lose in terms of being knocked out of the playoff potentially, I think they kind of have a mentality of we have nothing to lose. And I think that was kind of apparent, and that was the most interesting vibe I got overall from talking to everybody. So how many stories did you post today? 9,000?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5. But the thing is, there's much more to come. That some of the stories aren't necessarily about this game, but I think it's interesting to get some of the perspective of the guys that you don't hear from.
Yeah, we were 4,000 or 5,000 too. So stay tuned with cleveland.com for the next few days heading into the game, and of course al.com. Thanks so much for staying up to date with all of our coverage on both sides, and we'll continue to provide that. And we're looking forward to continuing that heading into the game. For Michael Casagrande, I'm Ari Wasserman. Thanks for watching.